tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she has to say, as well as those jurors.
After Jennifer Lopez was dragged into the Diddy lawsuit over allegedly being the gun mule in a 1999 nightclub shooting where Diddy and J-Lo allegedly made a rapper named Shine take the fall and spend 10 years in prison for them, people have started digging into her past, and it raises some questions.
She joins us now, sharing her story. Natanya, thank you so much for being with us. I can't imagine what you've been through since 1999, and then all the emotions that must be coming up over the last couple of days.
Law enforcement sources are expecting the feds to widen the Diddy probe to include previous criminal investigations. Now, we know Diddy was criminally investigated regarding that shooting in New York, but I didn't realize the extent of J-Lo's involvement.
Y'all, the temperature around Jennifer Lopez just shot through the roof. After Cassie Ventura's explosive courtroom revelations, whispers say J-Lo wasn't merely Diddy's old flame. She may have been his right-hand woman in a swirl of smuggling, cover-ups, and flat-out lies. But that's not all. Insiders claim the moment Cassie's testimony hit the record, Jenny vanished from the spotlight, sparking rumors she's ducking the legal fallout.
When she was on the stand, at times she became visibly upset, wiping away tears as she gave her evidence.
Ever since Diddy's legal storm rolled in, J-Lo has been straight up ghosting. No red carpets, no paparazzi snaps, radio silence, and now we might finally know why. Cassie just took the stand sobbing as she claimed Diddy forced her to walk around in public clutching a loaded gun, treating her like a disposable pawn in his twisted games. But listen to this. Rumor has it, Jenny from the block pulled the exact same stunt for him years earlier, and then helped bury the evidence, a cover-up that allegedly put an innocent man behind bars. If Diddy's ship sinks, guess who could be chained to the deck right beside him?
As we talked about in the first part, there seems to be some misinformation or misunderstanding of what really went down in that trial, what was said, what people were blamed for, what they were not. I'd love to hear your perspective and specifically kind of what you wish people understood about that trial that maybe they don't at this time.
I mean, even from the very day that the thing took place, because if you notice their mugshots, only Shine truly has a mugshot. Puffy and J-Lo, Puffy's in front of a concrete wall, J-Lo is in front of a bulletin board in some old t-shirts. Now, I want everyone to think that was the night of the shooting. You don't think at Christmas time, Puffy and J-Lo went out in some old raggedy t-shirts, right? No, there was already an agenda afoot to conceal what they had on, to try to sway the minds of people, to throw your memory off, but they couldn't throw my memory off.
Strap in, J-Lo fans. This roller coaster is about to fly off the tracks. Cassie Ventura, long entangled in a disturbingly toxic history with Diddy, just swore under oath that he once shoved a loaded gun into her hand before they marched into an LA club. But it gets crazier. She broke down on the stand, tears spilling as she relived the moment, and you could practically feel the whole courtroom flinch at her trauma.
It's real talk, but I gotta ask you, right? I seen a trailer for a Shine documentary that you in. How did that come about, you being in that documentary?
Well, I was there doing that whole trial with Shine and Puff. Puff said, "I hate that motherfucker." Blatantly. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
But the plot turns even murkier. Court filings from Rodney Lil Rod Jones allege that back in '99, Jenny herself slipped a pistol past security into a Midtown club for Diddy. That same night, 3 people caught bullets. One of them, Natanya Rubin, took a shot straight to the face. But that's not all. This isn't some one-off lapse in judgment. Diddy's got a pattern of turning his girlfriends into armed couriers. And let's be real, J-Lo can't hide behind the wrong place, wrong time excuse anymore. This screams active participation, not innocent bystander.
Anybody that was there, I know this young lady said Puff did the shooting. What I was told by Wolf himself, and he spoke very little about it because he had mad love for Shine.
And just when you think the saga can't sink any lower, Diddy's own driver hit the stand and swore that J-Lo fingered Shine Barrow as the triggerman that night. It gets worse. If that testimony is legit, she didn't just sneak in the heat. She allegedly helped Diddy pin the whole thing on Shine, who ended up rotting behind bars for a crime he might never have committed. Remember, Shine's been shouting for years that Diddy betrayed him, and former Bad Boy security chief Gene Deal even claimed he once heard Diddy say he hated Shine. So yeah, the idea of a full-on frame job, totally within the realm of possibility.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris, different places.
We all know Shine got railroaded, but buckle up, it gets crazier. Word is Diddy didn't just let the justice system play out. He allegedly hand-selected the witnesses for that 1999 trial, stacking the courtroom with anyone willing to parrot his version of events. But that's not all. Multiple insiders claim J-Lo was right there in the wings, coaching those witnesses, massaging their stories, and even slipping cash to jurors to keep the verdict tidy. End result, Diddy and Jenny waltzed out of court scot-free while Shine took the fall. And the cherry on top, Diddy ditched J-Lo soon after, proving she was just another pawn on his board. But hey, they both got what they came for: freedom.
Shine caused a lot of that stuff himself. And Puff said, I hate that motherfucker. Blatant. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
Wow, you never told me about that, man. You see how Flexi came out calling Shine a liar?
Well, I think Funkmaster Flex has every right to say what he said because he know a little bit more than most.
Hold up. Y'all are probably thinking, wait, why didn't J-Lo ever take the stand if she was right there when the shots rang out? Let me break it down. Jaguar Wright, never shy about spilling industry tea, claims Jenny and Diddy secretly tied the knot right after that 1999 club chaos. But listen to this. The ceremony wasn't about romance. It was straight up strategy. By making Jenny his legal wife, Diddy triggered spousal privilege, meaning prosecutors couldn't force her to testify against him. Hollywood loves a good loophole, and this one was ironclad. End result? J-Lo never stepped into the witness box, her hands stayed squeaky clean, and Diddy's secrets stayed locked up tighter than Fort Knox.
I remember he did what he did to me, and then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy, and he was standing there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. She stuck that glass in me, and after that, but my eyes were booked the whole time.
So we can't pull out a marriage certificate. Paperwork's MIA. But Jaguar swears that hush-hush ceremony really went down. Word is, J-Lo even showed up at some of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, the kind where privacy signs might as well read, "Abandon hope all ye who enter." But listen to this. One lawsuit alleges a well-known female celebrity stood by while a 13-year-old was forced into the mix at one of those gatherings. Now, we're not flat out naming Jenny from the block as that celeb, but the streets are buzzing. With J-Lo's name popping up in court docs, lawsuits, and old witness statements, the dots are getting way too close for comfort. But hold up, it gets even darker. That 13-year-old, tragically, she wasn't the only victim. Another woman, Misha, has now come forward with a scarring tale of her own. According to Misha, J-Lo wasn't merely in the room, she was front row, center stage, when Diddy allegedly subjected Misha to some truly traumatizing abuse at one of those notorious freak-off parties. But listen to this. Misha swears she locked eyes with J-Lo in the middle of the ordeal, silently pleading for help. What did she receive in return? No words. No rescue, just a cold, vacant stare. If J-Lo really locked eyes with a victim and did nothing, she's got some soul-searching and explaining to do. It gets messier. Her name has been tied to these twisted soirees before, but that's not all. Her first husband, Ojani Noah, spilled his own tea years ago, and it was piping hot. According to Ojani, Jenny wasn't just a casual guest at Diddy's infamous gatherings. She was knee-deep in the scene. He even argued she should be grilled about the rumored tapes floating around Diddy's inner circle, the ones whispered about whenever baby oil and hidden cameras come up. Ojani didn't sugarcoat it either. The glamorous J-Lo we see on red carpets, he said, isn't the same woman behind closed doors, and she knew exactly what went down at those parties, apparently without batting an eye. Let's be honest, exes can get wild with their stories, sure, but this ain't your run-of-the-mill bitter because you cheated rant. When you stack Ojani's accusations next to Misha's account, Cassie's tear-soaked testimony, and a pile of lawsuits climbing higher than J-Lo's platform heels, the dots start connecting fast. And Jenny from the block is looking a lot less like an innocent bystander. But that's not all. 2 law enforcement insiders told the New York Post that the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting could be reopened as part of the Fed's expanding probe into Diddy. If investigators yank that file back into court, and J-Lo's name is anywhere in the paperwork, she might be swapping red carpets for a witness stand. Social media is already side-eyeing the whole thing. One user summed it up: everybody knew J-Lo was carrying heat for him. She's not mega famous because of her vocals. The talent never matched the hype. And now, y'all, the real reason behind her sky-high rise to fame might finally be coming undone.
The news scenes. Did y'all hear about what's his name? Suge Knight? He said, baby, he think the reason why Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck broke up because he feels that they had some tapes at Diddy's mansion that showed her in a compromising position, and that the FBI allegedly may have sent those tapes to Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is a white man in America, and he's a very prominent man. They say he's a darling, which means people love him.
Hold up, just when you thought the saga couldn't spiral any further, buckle in. Former insider Sully now claims J-Lo and Ben Affleck's fairy tale reboot didn't crash over distance or creative differences. According to him, federal agents allegedly sat Ben down and pressed play on a tape showing J-Lo and Diddy deep in the chaos of one of those notorious freak-off parties. But listen to this. Ben reportedly thought he was about to review evidence for an ongoing case, only to watch his newly rekindled bride front and center in Diddy's X-rated world. Word is, after that screening, he couldn't look at her the same. Can you blame him? Fast forward to the present, and the timeline all but shouts confirmation. Right after the feds raided Diddy's homes, Bennifer appearances dried up, J-Lo returned to flying solo on red carpets, their body language went ice cold, and boom, the marriage is already over. J-Lo may have spent years serving quiet, classy for the cameras, but these new court docs are painting a whole different portrait. Think crime thriller, not rom-com. If even half of these claims stick, the soundtrack switches from love ballad to police sirens real quick. But that's not all. While the spotlight's burning hotter, Cassie's testimony is turning up the heat even more. She's been unloading bombshell after bombshell, and it suddenly makes sense why J-Lo has gone full Houdini. Where is she hiding anyway? Cassie told the court that Diddy didn't just date her, he allegedly owned her life. He paid for her house, cars, even her phone, then threatened to yank it all back whenever she stepped out of line. Total control. On the stand, Cassie broke down, describing how Diddy would bash her head, knock her over, drag her, and kick her, leaving her with swollen lips, black eyes, and literal knots on her forehead.
She said that they were so exhausting, she needed a recovery period from uses of drugs and the physical exhaustion of the activities at play.
Next, prosecutors zeroed in on what Cassie called the freak-offs, and things shifted from unsettling to downright nightmarish. According to her testimony, Diddy initiated her into these depraved gatherings during the very first year of their relationship, allegedly hiring male escorts and strippers to have sex with her while he watched. These weren't one-off experiments either. Some marathon sessions stretched on for 4 straight days. She admitted she went along at first, hoping to please Diddy, but the experiences only left her feeling degraded. But listen to this. To cope, Cassie said she began self-medicating with whatever she could find: weed, ecstasy, ketamine, you name it. While Diddy, she claimed, acted as the ringmaster. He supposedly instructed her to recruit dancers, escorts, and random men, then shelled out between $1,500, $6,000 based on their performance. She even said they sourced participants through stripper agencies and, incredibly, Craigslist. Several of those men were identified in court, complete with photos, including one named Daniel Phillip, who had already taken the stand.
She said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on to the lighting in the room to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak off, the freak off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
And at some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie express looking forward to these said freak-offs?
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs.
So now the spotlight swings right back to J-Lo. Don't tell me she never caught a whiff of this pattern. She dated Diddy during the height of his chaos, practically courtside to every wild play he called. That darker side of him, it couldn't have blindsided her. But that's not all. Word is, she's desperate to dodge the witness stand. Allegedly, J-Lo has been sidestepping that subpoena like it's radioactive, even jetting off to a country with no extradition treaty, just in case the whole case explodes and pulls her in. Because let's keep it real, the evidence against Diddy is piling up fast. And if the feds start flipping through the guest list of who was around, J-Lo might be next in line. So I've got to hear from you. Is Jennifer Lopez really the next domino in Diddy's ever-expanding scandal, or is she just collateral damage in all this madness? But here's the kicker. Some swear she was quietly pulling strings behind the scenes, while others say she's just an unlucky bystander who got splashed by all the drama. Drop your takes in the comments. Don't hold back, because this tea is boiling. And while you're at it, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. With the Diddy case heating up by the day, nobody knows whose name will be dragged in next.